when you feel ready, you can gently open your eyes. We'll start our yoga sadhana, or yoga practice, with some loosening exercises to increase the circulation in the body. So let's stand up. We'll start in Samasthiti, alert posture. So the feet 2 to 3 inches apart from each other in parallel. Stand with the spine tall. And let's bring our hands onto our waist. We'll do neck exercises first. Be careful in case of any neck injuries or cervical spondylitis here. Let's inhale, stretch the spine. Exhale, bring the chin to the chest as much as you can, all the way to the chest. Inhale, raise the head back up. Exhale, let the chin and head fall back, face to the sky. Inhale, head to the center. Exhale, chin to the chest. Relax. Inhale, bring the head back to the center. Exhale, let the head go back, stretching the front of the neck. And one more time, inhale to the center. Exhale, chin to the chest. Stretch the back of the neck. Inhale, the head to the center. You can smile. And exhale, let the head go back gently. Open the throat and chest. Inhale, back to the center. Relax. Good. Keeping the hands on the waist, we'll twist the neck from right to left. Be careful not to jerk the neck. Let's inhale, stand tall. Exhale, turn the chin over the right shoulder. Look all the way over to the right. Feel the stretch in the left side of the neck. Inhale, back to the center. Smile. Exhale, the chin over the left shoulder. Feel the stretch in the right side of the neck. Good. Inhale, back to the center. And exhale, chin over the right shoulder. Look as far as you can.
Right. Siddhant Sibal is still with us and is joining us live. Siddhant, so clearly a major transition there for Prime Minister Modi. In the morning, he had business talks with, CEOs, including Elon Musk. And now he's transitioned into yoga for the International Yoga Day celebrations. And again, a packed schedule ahead in Washington.
Well, yes, the Indian Prime Minister leaves to Washington from the Yoga Day celebrations that approximately around 10:30 a.m. local time. And then, of course, we know it will be a packed agenda in Washington as well as he meets CEOs. And, of course, there is a scheduled meeting with the U.S. President Joe Biden as well. But after the Yoga Day celebration, that essentially brings the color to the entire visit. We will see hard diplomacy in Washington, where focus will be as to how there can be convergences between Washington and New Delhi in several domains, and defense tops the area of priority. Now it's given that there will be announcements on defense, including, of course, the Predator drone deal and, of course, the GE jet manufacturing deal in India, but also on critical technologies. Both India and the US are keen when it comes to removal of barriers, and India is keen to get technology from United States, given its growing needs. It has, of course, it's the most populated country. It is the 5th largest economy, and emphasis, of course, from the Indian side has been to have a good relationship with Washington. But it is reciprocal as well. We have seen bipartisan support in US for India. And in the first 2 decades of this century, we have seen the Bush administration, the Biden administration, the Trump administration. Now, of course, the focus remains that how relationship can be further emphasized on the closeness, but also on how the relationship can play an important role in the stability of the world. We know that both India and the United States are acutely aware of the Chinese aggressive actions in the Indo-Pacific, and both countries have been having conversations around it. So a lot of diplomacy in Washington, but today, of course, here at the United Nations headquarters, the emphasis on Yoga Day. And as the Indian Prime Minister pointed out, the holistic approach yoga provides. But one thing that needs to be pointed out, that he also pointed out to the UN peacekeepers, India is the largest troop contributing country to UN peacekeeping, and just last week India managed to pass a resolution that called for building a memorial for UN peacekeepers. It will be built here in the UN campus, and this is something that the Indian Prime Minister had suggested way back in 2015.
Right. Clearly, Prime Minister Modi there wearing several hats there in, in New York and Washington, transitioning from business talks to yoga, bringing yoga to the global stage, as well as now hectic diplomacy that will take place in Washington. But also this morning, Siddhant, of course, meetings with Elon Musk, Ray Dalio, who is an investor with a hedge fund, Bridgewater, an American astrophysicist, and he will be meeting business leaders multiple times during this visit, as you were talking about the defense sector and the importance being attributed here by both sides. Business clearly on the table as well as, of course, yoga and culture and art and everything else as well.
Well, yes, of course, it was a star-studded event. I would like to phrase it that way. The Elon Musk meeting is something that has been dominating the headlines in past few hours, and essentially it looks like he will be keen and betting on India. He was enthusiastic to meet with the Indian media as well here at the lobby of the hotel where the Prime Minister is staying. But essentially now it has become part and parcel of Indian Prime Minister's agenda abroad, that he meets influencers, thought leaders and business leaders. He also met a lot of thought leaders yesterday here in New York. But essentially the focus was as to how to shape the narrative for India and, of course, talk about India. Many of these thought leaders have huge following here in United States. In fact, Elon Musk was quick to tweet when it comes to his meeting with the Indian Prime Minister, and that, of course, every side is aware of the popularity Indian Prime Minister also enjoys, especially on Twitter. We have seen how the discourse has come on Twitter since 2014, especially in India. But largely, when it comes to his New York leg, it was the meeting with the thought leaders, the influencers and yoga. And now the emphasis shifts to Washington, where again he will be meeting several of these high-profile people and also addressing the US Congress. That is something that will be closely looked by global community. In fact, he is the second Indian Prime Minister to address the US Congress. He had addressed the US Congress in 2016, and at that address he talked about how India and the United States are burying the hesitations of history. That means that basically going full throttle when it comes to making sure the relationship can see convergences. This is a significant moment for India-US relationship, because remember, just 2 decades ago, India-US relationship weren't that very friendly relationship, especially after India conducting the nuclear test in 1997. But now it looks like a full embrace from the two sides. In fact, the US ambassador to India, speaking in Washington yesterday evening local time, said that while the relationship was complicated in the past, now both the countries are dating each other.